Hello and welcome to episode 10. Episode 10. Tis I, your guru of games, your shepherd of shows, your master of movies, and your mocapitan of cosplay. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's get this started. Ow! Before we get into this epic episode, I just want to personally take the time to thank all of you cosmonauts out there for keeping the lights on. I mean, this show means a lot to me, and 400 subscribers shows me that kind of onto something here, huh? Please hit that notification button, tap that like button, and hit subscribe if you haven't already. And stay tuned after the interview for our special guest, Elliot Sirota, and things to come on the Cosmoe Show. But first, a word from one of our sponsors.
Do you crave unlimited power, but don't have the credits? Then set your Nava computer for the generous Jawa Droid Emporium, where we'll sell you a used G&K series power droid for a fraction of the cost. They may not look like much, but they've got it where it counts. Unlimited power you can wield throughout the galaxy at a price you can afford. That's the generous Jawa Droid Emporium, Mos Eisley Spaceport, Tatooine in the Outer Rim. Limit one droid per customer. Restraining bolt-on included droid fusion reactors are not subject to warranty. The generous Java Droid Emporium is not responsible for any electrical damage to equipment or life forms. All cells are final. This message is not approved by the Empire.
Dude, gunk droids rock, right? Ha! Freaking awesome. Okay, photography. Cameras are crazy, right? So many different types, so many different sizes. You got small ones, you got big ones, you got even bigger ones. Now, is it the camera or the person using the camera? It's both, really. They both curate and create photographs. It's far more important and crazy and technical than just click. Before shooting a real photo, the photographer evaluates the subject from many angles. Photography is an art, an application and practice of creating images by recording light. And there's all different types of photography. There's portrait, there's journalism, there's fashion, sports, editorial, and so on, etc., etc. But the number one coolest thing that a photographer does is capturing a moment in time. And thanks to photography, we are able to hold and savor those moments. Those crazy, beautiful, romantic, amazing, out of this world, and oh my God moments. And thanks to computers and technology like the cloud, 1 million years from now, people can still look back on history and that picture of you when you got hit in the face when you were 5 years old with a birthday cake. Unless we go to war and nukes go off in the atmosphere and sets a charge to the radio waves that blows out every electronics whatnot, AKA EMP nuke, and all data is lost, send us back to the Stone Age. But that won't happen. But before we get into Jim, it is time for Comic Book of the Day!
Spawn, issue number 1, released May 1992. While a strange assailant stalks the city, ripping out human hearts, another otherworldly being arrives. As his mind reels, our tortured hero remembers that he struck a deal with the devil in order to return to his beloved wife. 5 years after his death. The man who was Al Simmons is no more. He has now become Spawn. Action, horror, suspense, and thriller from the mind of Todd McFarlane. Find the first 5 at any local comic book shop or online.
I used to draw Spawn back in high school, and now I'm working on an actual cosplay. I can't wait. That's done. 4 years later. All right, enough dilly-dally. Let's check out my sit-down with Jim Donnelly, the artist. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here with the amazing photographer extraordinaire, Jim. How you doing, brother?
Good, doing good.
Jim, what's up, bro?
Not a whole lot right now. I mean, I'm on TV, right? I'm on TV. I made it.
Yay!
Yay!
Hi, Mom. We are at the Gibson showroom in Los Angeles.
We are.
This place is amazing. You shoot here a lot, huh?
I do a lot.
Tell me about that process. How did you stumble onto that?
The Gibson story for me is a really interesting one. I started getting a lot of opportunities and concerts and ended up getting hooked up with a festival that used to be in Hollywood called the Sunset Strip Music Festival. Met the main staff guy that brought me on. He liked my work originally, like when I was getting started, and was like, hey, we want to bring you on. He moved on and I became the head person for the festival for the photography side. And Gibson was a big sponsor. So I ended up doing my first shoot with Brendan Small. This is actually one of his guitars right here. This is very similar to the one that we shot with him originally. He ended up really enjoying the photos that we got, and I think that's a big portion of things is when the artist is really happy with the photos they get. I think it just kind of started from there, and now I've been working with them for 8 or 9 years.
Damn!
Yeah, my Gibson family has been very, very good to me over the years.
This place is beautiful, by the way.
Yeah,
so
beautiful.
who has sat on this couch? Whose else's ass am I sharing?
I mean, there's tons of them, but I mean, for the people that, like some of the people that I photographed here, Joe Bonamassa, really, really big, amazing blues musician. He has a million guitars. He's got some of the craziest stories. Slash, literally right here. Like you're cut out of Slash right
You
here.
do like a Force Ghost?
We actually did a collection, shoot with his collection. So this is one of the guitars from his collection right here.
So, how did you get into photography?
I just feel like I always had a camera in my hands, a disposable camera. You know,
Talk about that one.
yes, underwater cameras. Always loved that kind of stuff. So I was always doing that. You know, yearbook editor in high school. We were one of the first 5 schools in the country to do a digital yearbook. Wow. So we were assembling it in Photoshop using some digital cameras. Remember those really horrible Sony cameras that used a floppy disk?
Oh,
You put the floppy disk in there.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was bad. It was very bad.
I was like, this is gonna boom like the Zoom, right? This is gonna be awesome.
You know, so we're doing all that, and then right when I graduated, you know, my parents knew that was something I wanted to do and bought me the Rebel 2000, which was one of their film cameras at the time. Buddy of mine were going to be going to the same junior college, and so we enrolled in a black and white class. So I took a class in that and learned like how to change, you know, the shutter speed, how to do those long exposure road shots with the light streaking. That was like, we had these like certain shots that we were like, wait, how do you do that? And like our first day in class, we're like, oh cool, we figured it out. Like, we're done.
So, okay, for those at home that are like thinking about getting into photography and whatnot, what would be the starter kit?
So, I mean, I always tell people, in my opinion, getting one that has interchangeable lenses. If it's something that you're already interested in my opinion, you're likely going to get more interested in it, which means that you're not going to want to have to buy a whole new camera. Again, like the entry level, you know, digital Rebels and those ones do amazing things compared to where they were when they started. So those are a really, really great way to get started. Whereas before, it was kind of like you're going to do this and then upgrade it really quickly.
Are the cameras like kind of like iPhones? There's a new one coming out every year.
I mean, kind of.
And they get like, like if I had a 4S right now, it'd be the slowest thing.
I mean, kind of, but at the same time, like now, like with cell phones, right? You've got like the Pro model and the Ultra model, and the, you know, they have that with them. Obviously, with cameras, that's where they've been. Is like you've got this level, then you've got the next one, and the next one. So
a camera can last you for a while.
yeah.
How did you get into the world of cosplay, shooting people?
I was, God, like my life was experiencing a lot of personal changes and was kind of looking for a new community. And
Today on Dr. Cosmoe,
yes,
how does that
I'll
make you
lay
feel?
down on the couch. I had talked to some people that actually worked at Gibson that worked at cons, and they actually like represented artists, for their signings and stuff like that. So it was something I had been curious about. They knew cosplayers or were friends with cosplayers and stuff like that. So there was the Los Angeles Comic Con. I think it was the last time it was called Kamikaze.
Kamikaze. Stan Lee's Kamikaze.
Yes.
Ah.
So I think it was the last year that it was actually called that before they changed the name. But just went by myself, brought my camera, met up with a few people. So actually the actual first cosplay photo that I took of someone was Leanna Vamp.
Leanna Vamp. Yes.
It's just really funny when I think about like, again, what she's moved on to and like how much she's like blown up and stuff like that. I'm like, holy crap, like she was the actual first cosplay photo I ever took. But it was, just finding new friends and being able to engage with people that, were just really creative and wanted to work on fun stuff. It was a really great community to jump into, and it was kind of the right time in my life to be in it at the same time, so.
And now you're shooting, you're still shooting with like crazy cool people like Dare. Dare's one of them, you shoot with her. That's amazing.
Oh yeah.
That Metroid armor, Samus.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, that was a dream come true. I'd been shooting with Dare for a little bit, and she'd done cosplay stuff, and so I always trying to introduce her to other people in the community that are great craftsmen and all that kind of stuff. So then it kind of came up. She was talking about wanting to do some bigger cosplays and some more stuff, and I was like, well, I got this guy that does this armor stuff. His name's Jeremy. But so I was like, hey, well, if this is what you're thinking about doing, he's a guy to hit up.
Well, he said back in the first episode, that was like his creme de la creme. That was like his masterpiece. And it was like,
and I mean, that's super fun, at least for me, to feel like there was like a reason to kind of put all that stuff together. It's sometimes we do those things and it's just like, I'm gonna work on a pet project because I want to put all these things together and do all that stuff.
And you brought it to the limelight of a lot of people.
Yeah.
We've used your pictures for the show.
Yeah. But so that was the really fun part.
So what kind of photographer are you? Are you the kind of guy that directs like the person in front of you?
I feel like a lot of times I want to put them in a comfortable setting, so I usually want them to get started,
right?
And then they can do that. I mean, similarly, like even with the shoot that we did with Slash here, I was like, kind of like, well, we're gonna have you sitting because we have to put you around all these things. But then it's like, I'm not gonna tell him how to hold a guitar. I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
It's just, let's just put you in here, let you get comfortable with your stuff, and then we'll tweak it from there. It really kind of just depends on what you're trying to feature, what you're trying to highlight in those photos and stuff like that. For me, it's a lot about the person, the subject being comfortable in its surroundings at first, and then we'll see where it is and just kind of evolve things. So like for me, it's always there's a starting point and then it just kind of goes from there and there. The other one too is I definitely shoot just a lot of pictures because I can capture little moments in between that a lot of times those are the ones we end up keeping.
I see a lot of models when they're like posing, they're just like,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, just like, can I stop and focus for a second?
Yeah.
How do you? But they come out really great because you're bursting it,
Yeah.
and then like, you got the whole moment.
Yeah,
And it's
and that's a dance. Like that's really kind of a relationship between the person that you're working with, and everyone has their own kind of timing and pace with that stuff. So then again, like I feel like I'm working with lots of different people all the time.
Are you a camera for hire for big projects like shoot a band or like a wedding?
I have been mentioned as being a person that will shoot with anyone that will pay. I've always tried to be professional with this. I've always just tried to be like, I don't really have any skin in the game. If you want stuff, like, it's my job to get it for you.
Dude, thanks for being on the show. This is awesome, Jim. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Always a pleasure.
No, thank you. This is awesome. This is a beautiful place. All right, back to me at the studio. Did you see that? That was the Gibson showroom. Freaking super cool. And Jim, absolutely brilliant. Follow Jim and check out his amazing work and all of his socials in the link down below. And if you have an event that needs a killer photographer, hit him up. So check this out. Are you ready for more content? Every week in between the episodes, we'll be dropping a new segment called TCS News, where I give you my opinion on movies, shows, games, YouTube channels that you should check out. Plus, the new face on the team named Mariah that'll be hitting the streets and conventions asking nerdy questions to the public. And I will be going live for Q&As. Now, I don't know what time or day yet, it's not decided, but will be announced soon. Apologies to Elliot Serrato, we ran out of time, man. Sorry, buddy. We'll get you on next time, all right? But be sure to like, follow, subscribe, share, and hit that notification button. And follow us on all of our socials. And now, you can catch us, The Cosmoe Show, on Spotify. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. And leave a comment down below. Let's chat. Or you can ask me questions, and I'll answer them either on the next episode or on the live chats. So, let's create a safe and positive community. And thank you again for all your support. Seriously, thank you. Now, the world could be an awesome place when you have love, peace, chicken, and grease on your side. Ah! See you guys later. Until next time. Woo, woo, woo. Episode 10, it's awesome. Oh my God. Whoa! Thanks for watching and subscribing. You guys are the best. Check out this clip next, huh? Yeah. Or that one. I mean, check them both out while you're at it. Why not?